Okay, first of all, how are you doing through all of this?
Well, you know, it just startled me, and I had a headache for 2 days, and I was just humiliated, and I feel really bad about what command staff was already there, and the chief hadn't arrived yet, but there was a lot of people there from, you know, the ARP staff was there, and people. I noticed somebody from another station, a couple of guys, and then somebody from other shifts. I was very nervous and trying to stay low-key. The captain had called roll call at 7 o'clock in the morning, and when he did, everybody was in the room, and he whipped a letter out and started humiliating me, and he just vilified me, and he berated me and just made me feel like I was a scum off the earth.
What were some of the things that he read from the note? And is it your understanding the note was from him or the firefighters at 54?
The note was from him. The other firefighters had their own letters. He read his letter first. Now, there were 3 letters that were read, and then the rest of the firefighters in turn were able to speak. But this captain said that he did not want me there. He said he was afraid for his safety, for his crew's safety. He said that he was afraid for his life. He didn't trust me. He was afraid for his crew's life. He didn't think I was mentally capable of backing his crew up on a hose line. And I said, I'm part of this crew. I said, I was here a lot longer than you, because he'd just been promoted.
Mm-hmm.
And he said so many things. I mean, it was very difficult for me to sit there and listen to that. I was obviously brought up my daughter that was killed, and I told him that he had said something about you're not the only one that's lost a child. And I said, oh, have you lost a child? And he said, yes. I said, well, you know what? Miscarriages don't count.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I've had a miscarriage and a tubal pregnancy. I said, I raised my daughter for 17 years. And what was done to her photograph was appalling, and it made me regress in my grieving process. And he rolled his eyes. I mean, he didn't care about anything, about my feelings, about my loss, about anybody. But I really believe that the ones that don't want to work with me, they're going to transfer. I mean, if they have a problem working with females, they're just going to have to transfer. I told them that. I said, I did nothing wrong. Paul and I are victims here, and I'm appalled at the way that they're treating me and Paul. Paul has gone to another station.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no reason for them to treat me like that. I didn't do anything wrong. And then I said, and, you know, you can transfer. The fire chief has given them that option.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they're not going to run me off. I'm going to go back.
Did you have to stand there that day and listen to all 3 letters, or how many letters did you have a chance to hear?
I heard all 3, but 2 of them were read in front of everybody. And then the fire chief and the fire department psychologist said that they'd heard enough, and everybody from 54A shift that was working at the station when I was there, we're going to go into another room. Were
you surprised that the chief allowed it to go that far? He allowed 2 letters to be read, and he stopped on the 3rd letter.
He stopped after this. He decided to separate us, you know, 54A shift personnel from everybody else after the 2nd letter was written. Now, the 2nd letter that was written, that was read by a firefighter that I worked with, thought he was my friend. We got along, did a lot of stuff together. Really nice guy. And he said that you caused this, you did this, you've caused me to have marital problems. I mean, they were blaming me for everything. Everything. They said that I caused a captain that was there to have a heart attack. And I told them, I said, you know what? I said, that captain had heart problems a couple of months before the incident in July. He went in, turns out he had some blockages in his arteries, had to have a stent put in. I said, that had nothing to do with me. And that shut him up, because he knew he was wrong. They blamed me. Everybody said they were having marriage problems, except for one firefighter that was, that I spoke with in the second meeting. But they blamed me for everything. That captain, he accused me of trying to kill myself 2 times at the fire station. And I stopped him and I said, that is not true. I have never done that. That is how rumors get started. And, that's all I could say.
Looking at the way what do you think about that? I mean, that's got to be an awesome burden to carry, knowing people are spewing such venom at you where you work.
Well, they're angry because the media got a hold of the coverage on July 7th, and they told me that. They were very angry with me. And I told them, I said, I didn't call the media. I did not call the media. This leaked out. Just like this, what happened Wednesday, leaked out. I had no idea that y'all had heard about this until 15 minutes after I left the fire station.
And I guess my question is, though, knowing that there's so much hatred towards you at that station, how does that leave you feeling?
It makes me feel awful because I've not done anything wrong. I've done nothing wrong. I know my job. I do my job. I don't break the chain of command. They know I know. They're not. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of running me out of the station like they've run every other female out of that station. I'm not going to do that.
When you hear people say you did all of this just to get attention, what do you say to people who say you did it?
What do I say?
Yeah.
They're out of their mind. And see, they don't say that to my face. I mean, when I was at the station Wednesday, that's the first time that anybody said that to my face. And it was that one fireman. And I didn't know what he meant by that, but I took it at face value. I've seen it on blogs. People don't have the guts to come to me to my face and say that. But if they ever did, I would tell them this. I'm a bereaved parent. I lost my daughter 3 years ago in a car accident. It was the most horrific thing that I have ever had to go through. And I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Losing a child is the worst thing that anybody could ever go through. And it's something I have to deal with every day. I would never, ever deface Amanda's photograph. She was my beautiful, wonderful, fun-loving, popular child. And I would give anything to have her back. Anything. And I pray to God that I never have to go through that again. And whoever did that to her photograph just cut me right through my heart. And it brought everything back. It made me regress in my grieving process. And for people to not understand that, to say what they say on the blogs, for me to hear these rumors, it's heartbreaking. And it's sickening because they don't understand. And unless there's anybody out there that's lost a child, there's a lot of people that have lost children. Unless you have, you don't understand how much it hurts. It hurts.